My son Saadya would have been 36 years old this past April. He was just a very, very positive, upbeat person, and people loved him. He also went into Yeshiva University every day and became very much a part of the campus. And he was due to graduate in May of this year. The president of YU gave the eulogy. They felt they lost a very important student. YU closed immediately. Saadya was back in his apartment here in Borough Park. They called me that they were concerned about his breathing. They did call Hatzalah, and within 30 minutes they intubated. The counselor who was in the apartment at the time, he said that as he got into the ambulance, he said, "Don't worry, David, I'm fine." And he was in a medically induced coma then for the next 4 weeks. It was then that Mishpacha magazine, who really did have a part in all this, published a letter called Dear Saadya with his picture, in which I wrote to Saadya that you can't hear me and I can't come see you, but I know you won't complain when this all is over. You'll say, "I'm fine." That night, someone who I had written an article with, she called me from Oak Park, Michigan, that she heard that there's a group that connects you with your patient. And a very lovely gentleman answered the phone.
It was 1 o'clock Motzei Shabbos. She told me that nobody saw him since he went into the hospital. And they had no idea if he's suffering. And she said it's not important for now, we can leave it for Monday. But from Motzei Shabbos to Monday is a very long time, and we didn't want to let the patient wait. So one of our volunteers, which happens to be, it was me, went down to the hospital, and we actually made sure that it was still connected that night. On Tuesday afternoon, I actually got a phone call, and it was this mother that called me, and she said, "I'm just calling you to tell you thank you. We just came back from the levaya of our son." And she said that the fact that we were able to see him in his last 24 hours that he was alive, and we were able to see him smile, it gave us a great memory of him.
I spoke to him and his sister, and then she took the tablet and she walked around the house. She took him up to his room. We saw he was looking a little sad. I said, "Do you want to talk to our neighbors?" So we stood at the door with the tablet, and anyone who walked by on the block stopped to say hello to him. And then I called his apartment, and I spoke to the weekend, who is very, very close to the young man named David. He turned on his FaceTime phone, walked around Saadya's apartment. I held my phone to the WellTab. So this was like, 21st century par excellence. He opened his eyes, he smiled. I said, "Saadya, I'm taking your picture." And I have a picture of him smiling, even with his eyes closed. We did it for 4 hours. The next day they did a procedure, and they called me that he was fine. We were getting ready to move him to a rehab, and I asked him to turn on the tablet, and the doctor said sure, and I waited, and maybe 20 minutes later, she called that he had gone into cardiac arrest, and they couldn't resuscitate. I can say truly that 4 hours was probably about one of the most important 4 hours of ever. This was his farewell. They were just so involved. Was everything okay? Was my connection okay? It was really like I called them my knight in shining payas. This was their goal, is just to make sure that I, who they did not know, and Saadya, who they did not know, would be connected. It's comforting to know that there are people like that in the world.